Hello everyone, we are in your science book on page 40 and we're going to read until 43. Learning from fossils. The scientific study of fossils is called paleontology. People who study fossils are called paleontologists. They do not just study fossils though. There are many jobs that paleontologists may do. They may find fossils and take them to a place where they can be studied, or they may clean the fossils and prepare them for display. Excavating fossils. Sedimentary rock usually erodes more easily than other types of rock do. When sedimentary rock erodes, it may reveal buried objects such as fossils. Cliffs, beaches, and deserts are good places to look for fossils. Paleontologists search for fossils in these areas. It is common to find many fossils buried with each other in one place. This place is called a site. When paleontologists find a site, they first take photos and then make a detailed map of it. The location where a fossil was found will be helpful to know later when studying the fossil. After its location is mapped, the fossil is dug out. Removing a fossil from the rock around it is called excavation. This process must be done carefully and may take a very long time. Small fossils can be excavated with simple tools such as dental picks, small chisels, and hammers. Larger fossils may also require cranes and bulldozers. When a fossil is found, paleontologists usually remove some of the surrounding rock along with the fossil. This extra rock helps to protect the fossil. Scientists number each fossil and then wrap it in foam to keep it from breaking on its way to the laboratory. Fragile fossils are also painted with a protective coating. Preparing fossils. When fossils arrive at a laboratory, they need to be cleaned. All the dirt and rock around them must be removed. Paleontologists who clean fossils are called preparators. They must work very carefully so the fossils are not damaged. Most fossil preparation is done with small tools and brushes. Maybe you know someone who had an x-ray taken. The x-ray gave doctors a picture of the inside of the person. Scientists can use the same technology on fossils. X-rays allow scientists to look inside the fossils and learn more about them. Reconstructing fossils. Sometimes bones from one animal's skeleton are all found in one place. When this happens, scientists try to put the bones back together to recreate the animal's skeleton. Sometimes all the bones are not available, and scientists must guess about the bones that are missing. Even an almost complete skeleton, however, cannot show what the animal's muscles or outward appearance was like. So scientists guess. They base their guesses on how modern animals look. If you visit a natural history museum, you may see models of animals such as dinosaurs on display. These models were usually made by artists. The artists based the models on scientific data, but they also used their own ideas about what the animals might have looked like. Dating fossils. Evolutionists think fossils formed at different times over millions of years, so they work hard to find out the age of a fossil. They think that the different layers of rock contain fossils from different times in the past. Therefore, a fossil is as old as the rock layer in which it is buried. Rock layers deeper in the earth are considered older than rock layers above them. Evolution teaches that life on the earth began with simple one-celled organisms. Over many millions of years, they gradually changed into different, more complex forms of life. Eyes, shells, legs, wings, and skeletons gradually appeared over time where there were none before. According to evolution, the simpler forms of life should be found in lower rock layers and the more advanced forms in the higher layers. Some scientists believe they can date many kinds of rocks by measuring the substances in them and how they change slowly over time. Paleontologists use this idea to help date fossils. If they find a certain kind of fossil all over the world in rocks dated by geologists, paleontologists give that age to the fossil. Paleontologists call these fossils index fossils. They can use an index fossil to date other kinds of fossils found with it in different rocks. So if a scientist finds an index fossil in a rock that has an unknown age, he uses that fossil to date the rock. But fossils do not always follow the pattern evolutionists expect. For example, complex and simple fossils are sometimes found in the same rock layer. Evolutionists must make exceptions and explanations when they find these kinds of fossils together. Some fossils are buried so they cross more than one sediment layer that geologists say took thousands of years to deposit. If this actually happened, the organism would have decayed long before it could have been completely buried. So evolutionists say that there were many local floods that formed these fossils. The Bible gives a simpler explanation for these findings. Noah's flood killed and buried all land organisms not on the ark in sediment during the first 40 days. So the age of most fossils is nearly the same. The layer of rock where fossils are found probably indicates how fast animals could move out of harm's way and the order in which they were buried. Small, slow moving creatures were buried first. The fossils of these creatures are usually found in the deepest layers of rock. Faster moving sea creatures and land animals were buried later as the water level rose. Their fossils are in higher layers of rock. Humans probably were buried last since they could determine ways to stay alive longer than animals. No human fossils have ever been found in rocks. The date a scientist gives to a fossil depends on his world view. Many dating methods assume that evolution is true and that life on Earth began millions of years ago. Because these ages do not agree with the biblical account of God's creation, we know evolution cannot be true. Creation Corner. In 1990, one of the most complete fossils of a Tyrannosaurus rex was found in the Black Hills of South Dakota. Nicknamed Sue after the woman who found it, this dinosaur is now on display at the Field Museum of Chicago. It is the largest of its kind ever found. When Sue was found, its head and hips were close together. The position of the bones suggests that Sue was buried by a quickly moving flood. During the Genesis flood, only the people and animals in the ark were saved from God's destruction on man's wickedness. The moving water during the flood would have been quick and powerful. Even an animal as large as Sue would have been swept away and rapidly buried under the sediment carried by the moving water. When we look at science with a creationist viewpoint, even dinosaur bones support God's word.